Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
What did Santa bring you this year?
Ooh, Santa. I think Santa kind of dropped the ball this year. Not much for Santa this year.
Fair enough. Also joining us this week, another one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush. Hey, Rakush.
What up, Jaren?
What's the deal with Airline Food?
It is gross. Man, put a pin in that because we will be talking about this. But Jared, okay. I gotta say, your greetings friends this time, it's probably the most energetic one I've heard. It's almost like we're recording first thing in the morning when you're full of life and energy.
Hate it.
You know, it's like 2026 all goes downhill from here, Rakush. But also joining us this week, though accepting the award for being the champion of the 2025 Real Mistake Zone Fantasy Critical League, Julian, CEO of the Georgia Gooner Gamers. Julian, please take the podium and give us your acceptance speech.
I'm the top critic. That means my opinion on video games is like 100% going forward. Like, it can't be ever questioned. I'd like to thank Mina the Hollower, which is maybe an insensitive thing to say, considering if that game doesn't do well, Yacht Club Games might shut down. But it was literally the only game that could have possibly made Jaren have more points than me. and it didn't come out, so I was like, oh man. And now, because of that, I guess by default, I am the winner. And I'd like to not thank Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, because what the hell was that, guys? I thought you guys were gonna bring back Life is Strange like vibes, and then it didn't do well, and it's probably like my lowest scoring game, so come on, do better.
Julian, as the champion, I know we didn't have this for our wrap-up, or tiny wrap-up last week, but you had two titles on your roster that earned you, had plus 90 on OpenCritic and got you the point. So Julian, please give us a few words on your highest rated game, Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
I think like when I spoke about it the first time, I believe the exact quote was, I used to pray for times like this. And man, that game really kind of brought me over, like got me 24 points, and
God.
I don't know, man. That's hopefully they'll be making more games. I don't know what else to say about that game that I haven't already said.
So Julian, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on going for back-to-back championships? It's never been done before.
That is
pretty
true.
Ambitious task.
I was actually sitting and like looking at the games for this year, and I was like, I don't really. Yeah, I was pre-scouting because like I gotta be the two-time now.
Oh man,
two-time champion. But there doesn't seem to be. I mean, unless I'm missing something, there doesn't seem to be like as many games that are really highlighted this year than it was last year.
Heard it here first, guys. no good games in 2026.
And I am the top critic, so that is 100%.
And that's why Julian's only on every so often. We can only afford his
sorry,
fee.
boys, we have a question from the media right now. Rakush from the Mistake Zone, please.
Yes, thank you. This is Rakush from the Mistake Zone, senior beat reporter. Julian, could you tell us what you knew about Clair Obscure before you picked that game up? Were you surprised by the output from that selection?
No, because it was French. It was an RPG, a JRPG, as some would say. And I knew right from the get-go it would be 90 plus.
I wish you had stopped right after saying it's French.
I don't know. JRPG is a pretty good Google.
It's good. But just sort of like, man. I didn't have any doubts. It was French. Is just a phenomenal tagline.
It is French.
Well, Julian, as the winner of the 2025 Real Mistake Zone League, you have the right to first pick of both the game selection and counterpick selection if we ever get around to doing our 2026 one.
Is that how that works? I thought it'd be like a reverse where I have to be the last or something.
From what I understand, champion's advantage. You know, since we all know those who stay on top will do anything they can to stay on top. That is reflected here in the league. But once we have a good time for all 5 of us to come aboard and, of course, do our own pre-scouting, we'll probably do a 2026 fantasy draft. But boys, like Julian said, I need to look into this just because I was looking at the Wikipedia for 2026 in games, and yep, not really a lot striking. Where I think one game I would pick, we have to do this draft soon because I think it's coming out soon. So I'll leave it at that. But boys, before we get into it, it's the new year, and I was thinking, man, when I was shoveling my snow, I thought, I really wish when we paid our taxes, we could, actually mark down, put a percentage of where our taxes go to here where we're living. Because one, boys, I'd put a big fat 0% to lining fat cat pockets. I don't want my taxes to go to fat cat pockets. Where I want my taxes to go, one, schools, because Julian, you probably can attest to this. Kids can't read these days. Kids should be able to read, but they can't. So I'd put my taxes to schools, to libraries. Libraries are a good resource for the community. I'd also put it to hospitals because I like to be healthy. I'd put it towards snow and road maintenance because Matt, I'm not sure about you, Julian, but Matt can attest. Rakush, you probably don't attest to this, but those road plows and especially sidewalk plows now come in clutch sometimes. Come in clutch until they put a lot of garbage snow back on your driveway right when you finish shoveling. Matt, how much did that happen to you during the break?
The classic. Yo, of course it happened right after we cleared the driveway. Right after. I was so tilted.
Always.
I love that the way Jaren framed that made it sound like I'm a poor.
No, Rakush, you're the closest to a fat cat living on a high-rise building. I'm pretty sure you're in the presidential suite. Last time I visited you, but that's neither here or there. But, boys, the last place I would allocate all my taxes to is CanCon. Canadian content. Especially that.
Dude, I thought you said canned corn.
Of the BL variety. Because, boys, Heated Rivalry is, if I watch this before my 2025 list of the year, that would be up there. This is a lock on 2026. Where Rakush, as the most qualified to speak on sports, how is the Heated Rivalry zeitgeist reaching your circles?
I'm not on social media, to be honest, so I don't really get that much of the zeitgeist anymore, but I have heard a lot of things about this one. A mutual friend of Julian and I has just actually been chatting with Julian's partner about this series a lot too. So I've heard it a lot from there, but outside of that, honestly, I really haven't heard much about it. I just heard that's basically what I heard.
Here's what you need to hear. Rakush. This needs more budget. I think it's unacceptable for a Hall of Fame MVP speech to be only shot of the stage and the person at the podium and not show the audience at all, which makes a really big plot hole. Because why would your partner that you dedicated this portion of your career to not be with you at the venue, but watching from a bar? Want to know why? No budget, boys. No budget. Heated Rivalry Season 2 needs all the budget, and it needs Carly Rae Jepsen to do the theme song as the originally wanted. Julian, how much would Heated Rivalries pop culture cachet increase if Carly Rae Jepsen was doing the theme song?
Hell yeah. We got the Canadian right now, Canadians Canada's pride in the show of Heated Rivalry with Canada's sweetheart Carly Rae Jepsen. That's just a synthesis right there.
Great moments in Canadian history.
Yep.
Damn
we need
right.
to bring those commercials back, and we need to put Carly Rae Jepsen and Heated Rivalries in the middle. But boys, I gotta say, if everything I said I liked about Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, just communicating, being able to be open with your partner, being able to be open with your family, when that all comes together in episode 6, I know people say episode 5 is probably one of the best episodes in television, but that episode 6, as a sentimental boy who cries on airplanes because he's watching anime, episode 6 did something for me, boys. Episode 6 did something for me, and I think Heated Rivalries will do something for you. So please check it out so we can get Carly Rae Jepsen into as the OP for season 2, hopefully. Matt, with Heated Rivalries, popularity coming up, is this BL's time to shine, or has it always been shining?
I mean, like a couple, what do you call it? A couple just like, anime adjacent communities, VTuber communities and whatever. And when Heated Rivalries dropped, there was just so much BL talk going on basically just in their general chats. And I was like, okay.
It's the Yowie Wowie era.
Yo, Yowie Wowie, gotta get those Yowie hands gripping tight.
Speaking of theme songs, real quick, Rakush, what's your take on Snooze by SZA being the new theme song of the next Gundam Hathaway series?
I'm sorry, did he say Gundam?
Yep.
Huh.
Okay, Matt, what's your take on Snooze being the theme song to the next Gundam series?
I mean, it tracks because it's Gundam Hathaway, I think.
Okay. Matt, as someone who is less informed, the only thing that he really knows about Gundam is the once collabed with Hatsune Miku, and I think there's a Yuri adjacent season or series. What's the difference between Hathaway and, I guess, Gundam Prime?
I mean, basically every single, what do you call it, Gundam series just has its own vibe, and Hathaway has always been one of the more, I mean, they're all like, I guess, like war-based, because, they're all, it's just like, it's always war-based, because that's why you have giant robots fighting each other. But like Hathaway just has the vibe that I'm not surprised that they decided to go with, I guess, you know what, like an English opening.
Especially like a pretty big, Western pop or, R&B pop artist. Where when I saw that SZA was doing the theme song, I had to blink a couple of times because never would I expect something top 40 adjacent, I'm not sure where it charted, to be used for a theme song. Where I think Rakush's reaction to that spoke volumes. I similarly had the same thoughts as well. Rakush, if you could pick a Western song for an anime opening, what would it be?
What genre? Give me a genre. I think that'll make it easier.
Since we're in, I don't know. It's kind of hard.
No. Jaren. What would One Piece have as a what
fair.
English song would One Piece's next opening be?
Ooh, okay. I feel like it would be some pop punky thing from the early 2000s. Like it would be like Sum 41 or Blink 182 kind of stuff. I don't know why that's where my mind goes.
Sorry. An opening recruit, not an anime AMV.
Good point. That's a very good point. Shit. I'll get back to you guys next week. We'll make a whole segment out of this.
While Rakush is thinking it over, boys, we're back from our hiatus. I want to thank Matt once again for editing, a bunch of year-end lists. But since we have our friend Julian here joining us this week to bring in 2026, Julian, you too had a really eventful 2025 full of memories. So I know this week you're bringing us, to start off the year, your top 5 of 2025. So now that you've said your victory speech, Julian, what were some of the experiences that you'd want to share that you really didn't get to do on the Mistake Zone last year?
Yeah, so Jaren kind of approached me and said, like, oh, do you want to do, like, a top 10 list? And number one, I was like, oh, top 10's too much. Like, that's a long list. Like, I don't want to yap that long. So top 5. But then I also kind of looked at my tentative top 5 list, and I was like, this is pretty... Like, there's really no surprises here. Unless you're, like, as the youth are calling them now, a ball and gun gamer. Like, my top 5 would literally just be, like, Eclair Obscure and also... like Silk Song, like no surprises there. So instead I kind of was like, why don't I just do like top 5 like pretty under the radar stuff that was really memorable for me. So like, things that really stood out to me that I was like, oh, that's a really cool like media experience. And I say media because one of it's a book and not a game. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of share that. Because I think for me, I'm always kind of chasing that like transitive, transformative kind of media that's like the ending for Nier kind of situation, which is my transition into my first one. Did you guys know that there's a Nier 3?
What?
Yeah.
What?
So there's Nier and Nier Automata, and then Nier ReIncarnation, which is a whole ass third game that is now a game you cannot play because it was originally a mobile game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, was it a gacha game? Or no?
It was.
It was a
They
gacha
took
game.
like it was a gacha game, which is insane. I thought like when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I know like Yoko Taro. I bet he's gonna do something with the medium of gacha games. And it turns out it was just a gacha game.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, never mind. I thought there was like gonna be a commentary on it. But on my first list is Nier ReIncarnation, wherein you can't play it, but there has been a huge fan community that tried to kind of recreate the story and kind of the experience. So there's a website that I read, and I've only gone through the first like chapter. There's 3 chapters for Nier ReIncarnation. The website is nearrein.com, and basically what they did was they kind of have it where they took all the videos and took all the notes that you would have found in this mobile game that tells the story, and they kind of compiled it as chronologically as possible, so it does kind of go into the story of original Nier as well as the consequences of what happened after Automata. So it is like a third Nier game. It's just like this is kind of unfortunately the only way to experience it now. But I am kind of signal boosting it because I love Nier. And if you do like Nier, it is something worth checking out. So that's my number 1, Nier ReIncarnation. Check it out. Number 2. Oh,
Julian,
sorry.
before you move on,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you: did you end up watching any of the anime that came out end of 2024 and through 2025?
Are you talking about the Nier Automata anime?
Yes.
I haven't because I'm like, I don't know. There's a weird thing about Nier Automata is such a video game that's like can only be told as a video game in my head. So I can't wrap around the idea of taking that and turning it into a non-interactive medium, because so much of that story is predicated on the fact that you are controlling these characters. Like oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna quickly say, like, even the ending, like, the weight of that ending is the fact that you are making the active choice, right? To kind of, like, do that. So taking that away is kind of weird.
I think I actually want you to watch it because of what you just said, right? Because the medium that the game was in was so, like, tailored. Like, the story was tailored to the medium, and I really would love to get your 2 cents on the anime because of that. I don't know if watching the whole thing is worth it, but maybe watching like the last 6-7 episodes is probably the way to go, because I think it's really certain endings where the medium matters the most.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of want to get like your thoughts on that as well, because you are the Nier fan. Like, you're the person I know as, like, if I ever need to go talk Nier, it's typically I message you first about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always talk Nier, but definitely, I'll check it out. I'll probably have to. I've been meaning to. I just can't get over like that block of like, is this? It's like a weird thing of like, is this necessary? But I guess it is if you're mentioning it.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had the same questions as you, which is why I was so curious about how they would handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still undecided on whether they handled it well or not, by the way. So just take that for what it's worth. But also, I think like getting your thoughts on it might help me a little bit as well, figure out if that was a good ending or not, because they absolutely could not do the same ending. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll check it out then.
Now that you guys brought it up, I feel like this is a similar conversation that was had with another anime that came out last year. And I know, Matt, this was something, I'm not sure how much you and Rakush talked about it on air, but I know we talked about it briefly on Discord PMs, but with Nosha that came out this year as well, which, starts as a visual novel game and then is now an anime with a banger OP. And now I'm kind of curious what sticks the landing better. Would it be the Nier anime in terms of translating such a unique experience compared to Nosha, which tries to take a visual novel experience and with something with a lot of choice, with a lot of loops, and then present it in an anime where that was that I forget because I'm old and I'm losing my mind. You didn't continue with Nosha, correct? The anime, at least?
No, I continued with the anime. I couldn't get through the game because that was way too much social deduction for me to wanna deal with.
Okay.
But, I mean, it translates well just because the game is in essence a visual novel anyway, which translates well to telling a anime story.
Fair. Julian, do you play Nosha? I feel like that's also your type of game.
I haven't. I haven't heard about it. What is it?
Wait, I thought you
Nosha?
did play it. You're the one who told me to play it. Genosha?
Is it Genosha?
Genosha.
I've been hearing people say Nosha the whole time.
Dog, this is a made-up word. Like, I have no idea how to actually
Genosha,
pronounce it.
that's like it's like werewolf, right? Oh man, yeah, I love that game. That game's great.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Julian, your homework for 2025 is to watch the Nier and Nosha animes and then do a book report style of do these translate well into animes.
I did not know Nosha got an anime. That is interesting. Okay, I'm gonna check that out then. I mean, also Nier. I'll check those out. Cool.
All right, we look forward to the book reports in the upcoming months.
I'll just get ChatGPT to
Boo.
Right, the kids can't read, Julian.
and
I
then
forgot,
submit
I forgot.
it. as the youth are now doing. Okay, so I'll move on to my second one. Boys, I used to work as a teacher at a school, but now I'm on more on the corporate side. So as cyberpunk slang would go, I'm a corpo now.
Hell yeah, bro, he sold out.
Damn, I didn't expect this heel turn.
And I work a 9 to 5. And one of the things I love to do on my 9 to 5 is to have an idler game kind of on the side there, because it is something that I can kind of like only tangentially pay attention to when needed. And there is an idler that I played this year that it's such a different concept that I thought I was like, oh shoot, this is really worth mentioning, and that is Asbury Pines. So it is an idler. I guess. Do you guys? I assume I don't have to explain what an idler is, right?
Nope.
Or
Like an idle game, like IDLE.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
idlers are well-worn territory here on the Mistake Zone.
okay, perfect. So Asbury Pines is an idler game, but it is a mystery idler game. So long story short, it is basically it's very Twin Peaks, and that's kind of like they're very clear. They're kind of wearing that inspiration on their sleeve, kind of thing, where it's a small town and the instigating incident is a murder. So someone gets murdered in a small town, and basically the idler part of it is the kind of you assigning people to do certain things, right? So you assign someone to kind of investigate the scene, and then you kind of have to wait as they investigate, and then they kind of come back to you with kind of the findings of this investigation. So it's very straightforward, but it's really cool because it kind of opens up wherein you start out in like the 90s, or sorry, in the 2000s, but then it kind of opens up different time periods because, you then have the murder, and then you jump into the future for the consequences of the murder, but then you also jump into the past of like what led to the murder. So it's kind of this thing where you are assigning like the resources, you're assigning people to kind of investigate this crime, and it's really cool because it's very Twin Peaks, wherein some of the things, it gets weird. Like if you've ever watched Twin Peaks, like there's like, the red room with like people talking backwards and like, talking to the ghost of like the people that have been murdered. So there's like that weirdness to it as well. Like one of the characters is a tree that has existed in this town since the beginning, and it would kind of like tell you like the things that it has seen, you know. So there's that weirdness to it that I really like. And I thought it was really cool because it is kind of taking that concept of an idle game and kind of doing something I feel is pretty unique. I haven't really encountered an idle game that is telling a story through the kind of medium of an idler. So I really like that. Definitely check it out if that's kind of like your thing. If you like mysteries and if you like having something in a second screen while you work your corpo job.
Oh man. Okay, so sorry, Julian, I have a question about this game.
Yeah.
Because in my head, like an idler is in essence like infinite content, and I feel like if this is a mystery game, is there like a finite amount to it?
Yeah, like
or...
it eventually ends. Like you will eventually
okay.
like so it is there is a story, there is an ending, there is a goal. So it isn't like an infinite idler kind of situation, but it is kind of just telling you, because I don't know, it's kind of doing this thing where it's like you play a lot of other detective games and you kind of like find the answer like the moment you kind of click on something. But here it's like you're trying to find an answer, but you have to wait for it. So it is kind of bringing in that concept of like if this was a real life investigation. Right? Like if it's a real life investigation, it's not something that you can just solve like with a few clicks. It is something you kind of have to expend resources and time on. So it is a really cool concept that I feel like hasn't been done before. So it's kind of like really stood out to me this year.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Cool. My third one is a book. So I'm going to take a step away from games. It's a Japanese light novel that got translated, but I'm not sure if you guys talked about it before because maybe you guys love like talking about Japanese anime and stuff.
Wow, put us on blast like that.
But there is a manga version of it, but I read the light novel version. But Strange Houses by Uketsu. Have you guys read that one?
That title is far too short for me to want to read.
Oh.
Yeah, Julian, if that were like Strange Hearts that got transported to another world and now I'm like a level 99 dungeon master, then Matt,
oh yeah,
book of the year for
that's
him.
right up my alley. I actually read that one already.
Get out of here.
Actually, I'm interested in this, Julian, because it's currently on our library shelf.
Nice.
Beside all our manga.
Yeah, so there is a manga version. I think the original version is the light novel version, but they did the manga. But it's a mixed media light novel wherein I guess the conceit is that the main character is an occult specialist, and someone came to them because they were wanting to buy a house, and they said that the long story short is that they found something weird with the floor plan of the house, basically. And the occult person takes a look at the floor plan and basically to try to avoid spoilers, because in case you're interested in checking it out, basically they look at the floor plans and find that there is something weird about it. And the book kind of gives you enough time to try to figure it out on your own until they kind of like dig into it. But yeah, it's cool because it is mixed media, and I'm a fan of mixed media where you're kind of mixing certain things where it's like, here's a floor plan, take time to kind of pause and look at it yourself, and like, can you figure this out on your own kind of situation. But it's really cool. It didn't go where I thought it would go. And I'm not a writer or anything, and I'm, even though I'm top critic, I could be wrong. But I thought it was going in a place where it was going to make a commentary on like internet sleuths and internet detectives and how destructive that can be. But I don't think it takes it there. But it is still a pretty cool mystery in a format where it's like, you kind of have the time to look at it and kind of solve it on your own. But yeah, Strange Houses, pretty cool.
Is Strange Buildings and Strange Pictures next on your reading list, or?
No, I wasn't aware that. I know Strange Pictures existed, so I was gonna read that. But I haven't yet. I didn't know Strange Buildings was a thing.
Yes.
Is that the most recent one, or is that?
My mistake. Strange Buildings will come out this March, so something to look forward to.
Okay, it is the next one then. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll check that out then. So that's number 3. Number 4, I was gonna put Silent Hill F, but we have an entire episode on that. So I'm gonna spare you guys. But Silent Hill F, if you haven't played it. Amazing game. Can't really say much with that.
We'll get to the part 2 eventually, Julian.
Yeah. We should, because definitely yeah. So instead, I replaced it with Dead Letter Department. And there's a lot of themes of like mystery going on, but I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Dead Letter Department's a short game. It's something you can probably play in like an afternoon. But basically, you are tasked with working in this room where you are on a computer shown letters that an AI system can't read because maybe the handwriting is off, or maybe because the letter is damaged. And your job is basically to type out like what the AI can't like read, or what the thing can't like process and read, so you're typing it out. And it is, I can't really go into it too much because there is a lot of spoilers. But it goes into that idea of like kind of like the private lives of people, I guess. You know, like all you're getting is this like kind of these snapshots of these people sending these letters. And there are times where there is kind of like you're reading something and you're typing it out, and there's like a genuine worry for this person that you don't really know outside of this letter that they are sending. So I don't know. I think a lot about that, I guess, in some of my day-to-day, this idea of like kind of the snapshots of people's lives and how little we actually really know about each other if we really think about it and kind of sit down and think about it. Like we only really know like these pieces of people, I guess. And there is a mystery and horror component to it, because there is like, I don't know if it's like there's that moment kind of similar to Blueprints where like you realize you could do something mechanically that the game doesn't tell you to do, but like if you're playing it, you kind of like maybe naturally gravitate towards it without kind of spoiling it. It's like that is just to like spoil it, but not to spoil it too much. You realize that you yourself as a player in the game they give you a home address as well. So like, you know, like you could technically kind of not do your job and cheat the system and kind of like start sending certain things to you instead. And it really opens up in a weird way when you kind of like start doing that. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much because I think it's worth it, and it's pretty cheap on Steam. I think it's like $20, and it's a pretty short game. So, you know, if you have like an afternoon and you're down for like a mystery, definitely check it out. The Dead Letter Department. Yeah. And then my last one. When I was young, I loved this game called The Last Express. I'm not sure if anyone else here has played it, but it was made by Jordan Mechner, which is the creator of Prince of Persia. And basically it was this unique adventure game where you are on this train, and basically the train is moving in real time. So as the train is moving in real time, the people on the train kind of move along with it. So you're trying to solve this mystery, but the kind of the game is moving in real time. So like sometimes you miss certain clues because let's say you took too long to find it, and that can be frustrating, I understand, but also on the same level it kind of makes it unique wherein the world doesn't move around you. You're kind of having to play with the rules of that world. And that one really stuck with me. So last year, I played a game called The Seance of Blake Manor. And I think this is the only game that I also kind of has this mechanic where, so basically in this game, you are a detective and you have to find a missing woman in this manor. And in this manor, they're going to hold a seance on Sunday. So you arrive on Friday. They're going to hold a seance on Sunday. And basically, you have the weekend to try to figure out what happened to this woman you're kind of paid to save or find. But it kind of has a time mechanic as well, wherein every action you do takes a little bit of time out. So everything kind of moves. The story moves forward depending on what you do or what you don't do. So you could be missing things. You could be, having to wait a certain moment. If you hear people are going to meet at a certain time, you kind of have to remember it and kind of go there at that time. And I can also see how, I know time mechanics in games can be a little controversial for people, because some people could find it frustrating. But I think if done well, I think I really like the idea of time in games, especially for example, Majora's Mask, because it's this idea of the world kind of moving, you having to participate in the world as opposed to the world kind of moving around you. And when done well, I think that can be a really great vehicle for storytelling. And I think this is one of those games that does that really well. So the Seance of Blake Manor would be my last one on my list. So yeah, that's my kind of really memorable things for 2025 that really stood out to me.
Julian, it sounds like a really good year for you. And here's hoping that 2026 for you and all of us goes equally as well. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask real quick, even if you don't have one or two sentences for it. But Julian, since I know you are a big film buff as well, did you have a film or movie of the year?
I mean, Sinners, probably. I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
there are a lot of great movies last year. And if you gave me time to really sit down and think about it, that probably would be something. Maybe, I don't think so. But the one that really I watched and just consistently stayed with me throughout the rest of the year probably was Sinners. Probably.
Julian, I don't think you and I have talked about this on an episode. I remember when I visited you in the summer, you talked about actually loving the Superman movie that came out this year.
Yes.
Is that still the case? Do you still feel that was a great movie? It's one of your more preferred movies of the year kind of thing?
Yeah, I absolutely love Superman. But in a way that's not it's a competent movie. I wouldn't say it's if you take it as just as a movie, if we're talking about it as just as a movie, it's fine. It's entertaining and it's very competent. What I like about that movie though is kind of what it kind of stands for. A lot of Superman. This is a very strong opinion, but one of my favorite superheroes is Superman. And I do not believe Superman has been done well in media, in movies. Sorry, I don't think there has been a good Superman movie outside of like maybe the original like Christopher Reeves like Superman 1 kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think a lot of people's opinions about Superman is very negative because of the media representation in movies, because I don't think he's done well, and a lot of people's complaints about Superman is this idea of like, oh, he's so powerful, like that's so boring. But when I think about Superman, I think about like the best parts of Superman is the fact that a lot of his struggles are the things that he can't control with the amount of power he has, right? So you have like moments where it's that humanity, that kindness, that like moments where he talks down someone who is maybe wanting to commit suicide, talking them down, trying to give them hope. It's kind of like that's, for me, is the central idea and conceit of why Superman is great. And I think that Superman movie is kind of the first one. I mean, aside from the Christopher Reeves one, where it's like, you know, it's all about Superman's kind of like what he kind of represents for others, as opposed to like him kind of like punching Batman in the face or something.
Yeah.
Like there is that scene, like it's so controversial because a lot of people complain about it, where like in the movie he takes the time to like save a squirrel from getting squished by a kaiju, and it's like a lot of people are like, oh, that's so pointless. But I don't know, to me that's like quintessential like Superman. It's like he will take the time to kind of like go out of his way to be kind, and I feel like it's a really good message, and hopefully it is a message that is one that sticks and is kind of prevalent in a lot of like media going forward, because I don't know, call me sentimental, but I love kindness.
I think one of the interesting things about the reaction to the Superman movie also explains why Superman has not been done well since the 70s, is that I don't think the general audience has ever gotten a good enough adaptation that explains that the things about Superman that make him special are not his superpowers.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
It's that human side that he was raised with Ma and Pa Kent, right? It's that he can do all this amazing things, but like he is human at the end of the day because of the way he was raised and the way that he, goes about things. Like he will fly across the universe to save like one person. That is Superman.
One of my favorite Superman series of all time is For the Man Who Has Everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's 2 issues and it's just beautifully written. And I think that captured a lot of like what made Superman special as well. And I found it really interesting that like I have some issues with this movie. Part of it just has to do with how James Gunn typically writes these movies, and like some of the dialogue is a little bit just cliched, I would say. But I did still appreciate that they really captured what makes Superman special, but I also found it very amusing that the general audience was all like, oh no, Superman's gone woke. And I was like,
Superman's been woke, man.
He was created during World War II as a symbol that fights Nazis.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what else he could be.
It's weird.
Guys, over under. Or not over. How long do you guys think after you got Superman level powers would it take you to go full Homelander?
And that's the problem.
I'm definitely the problem. The whole like when Julian, I don't know, said like, oh yeah, he would fly across the universe to save someone. I instantly thought, could it be me?
Matt, I'll tell you the exact moment. It's when the fat cats say I can't use recycling bags to store my recycling.
Oh, bad.
Wait. Sorry, Rakush, you were saying something.
I was gonna say it's a nature versus nurture thing, but then I realized that would be like a backhanded way of saying Matt wasn't raised right, and I don't want to say that. So, yeah.
I think I was raised okay, but
I mean, it would be hard for sure.
Great.
Because like a big part of Superman 2 is like letting humans kind of choose or make that. Like he won't interfere in like national geopolitical stuff, because it is like, he doesn't want to be that idea of like controlling people. But then it's like that idea of like, if it were me, there would definitely be the temptation to be like, if there is a war somewhere, it's like, okay, like we have to like stop this war, to stop people from dying, kind of thing. So there is, I will say, over and under, there definitely is a temptation to stray into Homelander territory.
I think even Homelander though is a story about nurture, right?
Yes,
because like the entire thing about Homelander is he's a piece of shit because he was born in a lab. He was raised in a lab in like, basically a very isolated scenario in a situation, and at some point like he just didn't really have anybody that taught him things like empathy or like again cliched, but like love, right? So like it's even Homelander is a story about that. So yeah, it really I do think comes down to just sort of like how you're raised, honestly. Like that's always been the Superman thing.
Yeah. Okay, I guess Homelander is maybe a step too far. Maybe like Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
I get a cool mask? Real quick, Mac. Real quick.
I think you already have that mask, don't you, Jared? Through like MF Doom.
Not yet, Rakush. Not yet.
Oh,
I'll let you know when I have my superpowers.
Excellent.
Sorry, do you not own a Doctor Doom mask at all, Jared? Because like I'm legitimately surprised if you do, as a person, do not own a Doctor Doom mask.
I have a lot of Doom, both the Doctor and MF variety, prints and figures, but no mask. Not yet.
Damn.
Have
Maybe in 2026, Matt. Maybe in 2026.
you guys watched all the Doomsday trailers that have come out so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been a latest one after the X-Men one or no?
Yeah, there's the
one with
Wakanda.
Fantastic Four and Wakandans.
Okay. X-Men one was the latest one I watched.
The X-Men one is interesting, but only thing interesting is Cyclops got the classic suit, so I don't really know how long that's gonna last.
I'm less surprised that he has the classic suit in a post Deadpool and Wolverine world, but I'm really excited to see all of these characters get 2 to 3 minutes of screen time. That's
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like,
I think I look
that's crazy.
forward to that. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. But I want to thank Julian for sharing some of his memories of 2025 with us. But we're around 3 weeks into 2026, and that's 3 weeks of content that you didn't get to share. So, real quick, any mistakes that you've run into in the last 3 weeks?
Y'all, I okay. I talked about this on the Mistake Zone last year. And there was a question on if I was going to crack and buy either a Nintendo Switch 2 or an AYN Thor. And boy, was I cracked. I bought me an AYN Thor. And guys, Double Dash is like hard. I don't know like what we were on when we were playing this back in the day, but I was going from Double Dash to Mario Kart 8, and Double Dash is a whole different beast. And
I think we were just better gamers, quote unquote gamers TM as youths.
Guys, I was like struggling to do stuff in Double Dash. The drifting is like totally different, and I don't know, having to like snake again is wild. But man,
is it just like
Double Dash is still really fun?
Is it just like the timing is more precise, or
the timing is more precise? And the enemies are like way more aggressive. Laps seem shorter, so you're way more likely, like if you mess up, you're not gonna have as much time to catch up. I don't know. The game feels more aggressive, and I think with their Double Dash mechanic and having to, I think just like you don't get that luxury of in modern Mario Kart where you pick up an item and then you can like hold it, and then if you hit another item box, it'll give you the second item. But now you have to remember, who's holding the item? I have to make them the driver so that the person at the back can like pick up the item. And I don't know, shuffling the two the two drivers is like really, I don't know, that was a really, really cool mechanic, and I kind of wish they brought it back, but I understand why it's not there anymore. And each character having their own exclusive item was, I don't know, some of the exclusive items really bad, but some of those exclusive items really, really good and a real pain in the ass to deal with. And I don't know. Also, the tracks are much, much narrower, and that makes hazard, like bananas and fake item blocks, way more threatening.
Man. Matt,
Oh, man.
in terms of the Double Dash mechanic and the character switching, where do you prefer it when it comes to, or what's your preference when it comes to the more technical Mario Kart? Do you like the Double Dash, to kart racer management, or do you like the world, in theory, the world aspect of having the charge jump?
I mean, the charge jump looks fun. Jaren, I also spent a lot of this break just watching people play or do speed runs on Mario Kart World courses, and that looks really, really fun. That also makes you want to vomit on some of these shortcuts, because some of these shortcuts are wild with how much you're doing. You're like grinding wall riding into like charge jump, into mushroom, into just barely clipping a wall so that you get the boost to fly over something. And oh man, I don't know, it looks fun, and maybe I'll crack and buy a Switch 2 soon.
Gotta go fast, Matt. Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
You have some new hardware in your hand with the AYN Thor. What are your kind of just general impressions? How's the device? What are you playing on it? And Matt, how does it feel compared to the memory of the 3DS in your hand?
It is very much like the 3DS, but it has one additional joystick, of course. And I don't know, it feels like really good. I was very hesitant on like buying this at first because I didn't know where I would slot it into my, I don't know, like what is my use case for it, right? Because as I said on the show a lot, I barely leave my house. It's not like I do a lot of traveling, but this is kind of just like filling the place of me bringing my phone around my house, or using my phone before I go to bed, where I'm just like playing games now, where like, oh, if I'm cooking something and I have to wait a bit, I'll bust out the Thor and I will play some Pokemon Rumble, or if I'm like the things that I'm playing on this now are things that work with very small, I guess, like bursts of time. Like, oh, I'll go do a level of Altered Beast, or I'll go do a part of like Search for Evo, or I'll just mess around and I don't know, do like a round of like Patapon or something like that. Like I'm enjoying this as a small games device, and I am like looking forward to finding something to do like a long-term playthrough on this to see how that'll feel.
Okay. Matt, how do those buttons feel?
The buttons feel good. Like, this thing like feels very nice. The texture on the cover is, I don't know, it's the unlike the plastic on the outside and stuff has a nice grit to it, and I really like it. Even though like, I ended up like putting on one of the kind of shells for it just in case I drop it. But even the shell like itself like still feels pretty alright. I have like one of those grips as well that gives it more of an like the kind of Xbox style handles, which makes like using it very well, like a lot better. And I saw a lot of people kind of didn't like how cramped it feels, and I kind of see where they're coming from probably, but I have like kind of smallish hands, so I think for me it actually like fits like pretty well.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why I found that so funny.
Wow, you don't like my you think my small hands are funny, Rakush? But sometimes I can't reach across the keyboard, so I have to like take my hand off my mouse and press another button on the keyboard when I'm holding control.
How are the joysticks? Is I'm looking at a picture now. Is it just like a regular joystick, or is it like a 3DS? Because I don't know if there's a hot take or anything, but like the 3DS design is like top tier.
Yeah.
The joysticks are slightly recessed. They're more like, I would say, like one tier above a Joy-Con joystick.
Okay.
Like they're better Joy-Con joysticks in to me.
Okay. Well, gotta also ask Matt, screen quality. I know you can have games on one screen and a video on the other, and I know you were trying to run some Zenless Zone Zero, but just how is the screen quality for you?
I mean, the screens like very nice. They're both like AMOLED screens, and I ended up buying the rainbow version of the Thor because I just like really like the look. I like having the multicolored buttons, and just the kind of color that they used for the shell. I actually really like as well. The thing that I sometimes wish I bought the black one, because when I look at like pictures of the black one, the screens blend into the black shell really nicely, and there's like no bezel on them. And I don't know, that looks really, really nice. But even like being able to see the bezel on some of these screens is like still perfectly fine on the rainbow version. Like the screens are very, very nice. It looks like very, very vivid. You can set the screens to like 60 frames normally, or you can toggle them to be 120 frames, or you can toggle the top one to be 120 frames. I don't usually leave it at that mode, because then like the games where I would want it to be 120, I feel like the fan becomes concerningly loud to me on that thing. But it looks nice while it's going, and if it weren't for the fan scare, I would definitely leave it there more. But they did just release like a firmware update that manages the fan a lot better, and maybe I'll give it another 120 FPS a try.
Okay. Kind of wrapping up here, Matt. Spec-wise, like with its insides, do you have a comparison when it comes to other kind of handhelds on the market right now?
I do not. I don't really know much about the handheld space, but I do know that this is like a little bit weaker than a Steam Deck.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm going to be, pushing it particularly hard on anything that I, would normally play on Steam anyways.
Right. And so, yeah, this is the AYN Thor. Matt, have to ask in this day and age, when you received the item, were you hit with customs? Did you have to pay anything on top?
I was not, because, of course, Jaren, I think you do this as well too. When you're buying stuff that's coming from overseas, you got to creep the forums. And when I was creeping those forums, I saw, the AYN has 2 shipping options. One is like 4PX and one was a DHL. And apparently, if you go for 4PX, you're a lot less likely to get hit by customs. And if you go through DHL, you'll basically always get hit by customs.
Yep. That tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
fucking DHL.
Went with, 4PX. It was a little bit slower, but, I believe I saved maybe $70 or something.
Nice.
Okay. Well, that's the AYN Thor. Matt, have to ask, how's Wallet Coon after this transaction?
Wallet Coon's taking a well-deserved rest in this little basket that I bought for Wallet Coon to hang out in with my keys and my phone.
All right. Well, AYN Thor available now. And Matt, I guess real quick, have to ask. So when are you buying that Switch 2 for the Animal Crossing Switch 2 upgrade?
Ooh. Jared, I don't need to do the upgrade on the Switch 2. I'm playing Animal Crossing now, and man, guys, it's this is a 3.0 is a fun Animal Crossing drop.
I hear you can dodge now. Does that come in handy?
Oh man, you know what? It's really useful to get away from the tarantulas and the what do you call it? Not the squirrels. What lives in the trees when you shake it? The bees.
Oh.
The wasps when you shake those trees for those items. But this update has been really fun. It's basically just Happy Home Designer, but they put it on the island instead, which they, instead of fashioning it as a whole new set of islands, they fashioned it as they made the pier longer and they put a hotel on it.
Okay.
Which, building a hotel over water seems wild to me when I think about it now, but I don't know, it's a very nice ad. It adds a whole bunch of items. It has a whole bunch of quality of life. The biggest quality of life being your DIYs can now be multi-crafted, so you don't have to spend all day making fish bait. And honestly, this is kind of probably a really minor one, but to me is very major. Since this is a hotel update, obviously you're gonna have people, visiting your hotel.
The tourists.
And I think for me, the thing that I was most happy to see about the tourists is that, one, they wander your town, when they visit, so you'll just have them, just around. And 2 is something that I was very disappointed about in the initial release of Animal Crossing, which was when a villager, leaves your town, they move away. If you see them again on one of the deserted islands, they don't remember you. It's just basically a fresh version of that character. But I really, really appreciate that if a villager comes to your hotel, or an ex-villager comes to your hotel, they will remember you. They will just comment on stuff about the place. They'll comment on things. And I don't know, that's a very nice ad, and I was very happy to see that happening.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
That makes me feel sad. I feel real bad if a villager came back and was like, wow, really spruce up the place after I left, huh?
Yo, you see this person? Who'd you let live in my house now? What is this person?
I saw a lot of people real upset at the tourists because they don't match the theme of the island? Because some people are like their islands have a very specific theme. And apparently the
You
tourists
just described a group of Japanese folks.
But yeah, apparently the tourists like you can't control like how they look or something or who comes.
Matt, is this a social commentary on it?
Oh man, it's one of those bad. See, like, okay, if they're doing like an animal themed theme for their island, I maybe get it, but that's just like animal racism or like speciesism or whatever. But you can like, okay, inside of the hotel, you have like these like mannequins where you can set the outfits that the characters who are tourists wear when they are outside of the hotel. So if they're not matching your clothing aesthetic, then that's your own fault.
That is a troubling number of executive power to force on people.
No. Oh man! No, if you rendered them for free, then you're just providing the look.
It's a service, Julian.
Guys,
it's a service.
Matt's Homelander.
Answered his own question.
Not Doctor Doom, please, Doctor Doom. I'm a tyrant, please.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
What isn't Doctor Doom like beloved in Latvia?
Probably.
Yeah. I think that's like how I would. Okay, going back to that conversation, I think I would end up like trying, I don't know, to establish a colony or a country or something, and be like, just like fucking vibe here, and then like maybe I'll take care of everything else.
Do we want to pivot this episode and just turn it into how Matt Alba turns into a supervillain?
Oh man,
I've watched that anime. But yeah, so the Animal Crossing update. But I know there is going to be a Switch 2. I believe it's already out to the Switch 2 upgrade. Is that anything that kind of entices you to go for a Switch 2? Or are you okay with what they've pretty much given to the Animal Crossing community as a whole if you're not choosing to upgrade this time around?
Guys, the Switch 2 upgrade is like, your basic quality of life stuff. And then I think one of their Switch 2 upgrade things was like, oh yeah, it'll now run at like 120 FPS in docked mode only, or something like that. It's like, oh, okay, I don't need this.
Okay, fair.
Matt's anime name would be, I bought 6 monitors to monitor my country, and now I'm a beloved tyrant queen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. Fall season 2026. But that was Matt's time with the AYN Thor and the new Animal Crossing update. But boys, to get to Matt's island, we need to take a plane. And Rakush, this is when Matt will either edit in or rewind sound effect, or we'll just think of it in our heads. But Rakush, what's the deal with Airline Food?
Oh my god. It's fucking gross. Especially on Air Canada flights. Like, so I flew to India and came back, went there for my brother's wedding, and I gotta tell you, the airline food, still garbage. They give you, first off, if you're sitting too far in the back, they might run out of one of the 2 options that they have, which is typically meat or veggie, right? And then, like, you'll be like, yeah, I want the chicken. And they'll be like, oh, sorry, we're out. I'm like, well, fucking just give me whatever then, right? Just ask me if you want this. I rarely eat on flights, to be honest with you, because, again, just not a great flyer. I tend to feel a little bit woozy and nauseous. But this time the flight was okay. Actually, going there, paid an extra $130 for the extra legroom seats. I don't think it's worth the trade-off, which I'll get to in a second. But the flight was okay, and I was like, all right, let me actually eat something. They only had the veggie option, which was some like mushroom pasta, and by pasta I mean overboiled macaroni. So yeah, real fucking gross. And there's like this lingering heat. It's not like a spice heat, but there's just like this weird lingering heat that like sticks to the throat sometimes with airline food that I also fucking hate. So yeah, not great. Not great at all.
Unfortunate. But Rakush, when you're on a plane, you have some time to yourself. You have either, well, I know you said you're trying not to vomit the whole time, but
yeah,
was there any forms of entertainment you were able to, consume, at least on the trip there or back?
Shockingly, very show relevant. Yeah, I actually brought my 3DS with me, and
Oh, nice.
because airplane mode, right? So
man.
decided, all right, that's I just jailbroke it last year. I have a bunch of games that I also own legally, just for legal purposes saying that.
Man.
Yeah, so I ended up playing Link to the Past, solid 20-25 hours of it across the entire trip actually. And yeah, honestly it was a fun game. Not one I'd actually played before, and I kind of really dig sort of how the first portion of that game plays before you get into sort of the quote unquote evil universe or evil version of Hyrule. But yeah, it's a really fun experience. It was a solid single player game as well, but one of the things that I kind of really appreciated about the experience this time around is the realization that I'd gotten a little bit too used to looking up walkthroughs whenever I came across something that I was stuck on. And I wasn't able to do that on the flight. Didn't pay for the Wi-Fi, and the free Wi-Fi only gives you text messaging and WhatsApp. So it was all right. So at that point, basically, I could either text somebody to get spoilers, which fuck that, or actually try to figure out a lot of sort of these dungeons and puzzles and things like that myself. And yeah, I honestly just kind of realized I think there is something that I've forgotten about playing games, which is the charm of figuring things out yourself.
Yeah, being a true gamer, Rakush.
Being a true gamer, yeah. I think just in my regular life, it's not necessarily I'm sitting down with enough time to play it. The thing about being on the flight is there's really nothing else for me to do unless I go to sleep. And so yeah, I think that just kind of was something that I hadn't felt in a long time playing a game. So that was cool. Outside of that, the seat that I was mentioning. So one of my bigger issues with long flights is my knees start to kind of hurt because of not enough leg room and things like that. Especially when if there's a person sitting in front of me and they are reclining the chair back and stuff, it just is a very uncomfortable thing. This flight is supposed to be 20 something hours. Was supposed to be a direct flight. Ended up not being a direct flight. They said there was a stop at Heathrow to refill the gas, except Heathrow security requires you to actually get off the plane, go through customs, go through security.
That's nuts.
It was basically a layover. Yeah. So they charged me for a nonstop flight, which ended up not being a nonstop flight. So I might need to get myself crotchety enough one of these days to call up Air Canada and ask for some sort of credits. Anyways,
you need to get that credit. I'd be livid if that was something I paid for.
Yeah, so I am 100% going to do that, because the thing also is I don't like Air Canada. It's not a great airline. Their planes are not that great. If I was going to pay for a one-stop flight, I would have gone with something like Emirates or Etihad, which would have been roughly the same cost, but would have been more comfortable, and the airline food would have been significantly better if I went with that Emirates. So I definitely feel like I didn't get what I paid for. So I absolutely am going to call them up and talk about that stuff, because there was also no sort of indication that you're going to be going through security again, which was also weird because I had to pick up something from Canadian Duty Free for a family friend, and it was a bottle of ice wine. And you go to Heathrow, and they're opening up the packaging, and I'm like, dude, this is a gift. And they're like, no, sorry, it's security protocol. And I'm like, that fucking sucks. If I knew that, I would have bought it, put it in my carry-on, put the carry-on into free check-in, because they still do that at boarding sometimes. And then I would have, kind of been fine. But, there was no indication that you'd be getting off the flight. So the seat then ended up not really being worth it from that perspective. But also the other thing about it is that seat is right next to the bathroom. And annoying-ass kids also don't understand what personal space is. If I'm leaning my feet out, there's dumbass kids that are running right into me and tripping and falling. And I'm sleeping while this is happening. And also, like, there's a lot of noises from, like, you know, people going to the bathroom, or, like, people have, like, you know, the same thing I was talking about with, like, knee issues or back issues. So when they go and stand, they're going standing right next to that seat. So it's absolutely not worth it from that perspective. But ultimately, the flight was done, and it was what it was. So, like, annoying. Even the way back, like, it was the same deal, stopping at Heathrow, security check, and all that stuff. So, yeah, definitely got to call them up one of these days, because that shit was not cool, Jaren.
Yeah. I feel like I need to apologize for that, because that sounds awful. Like,
it was stupid.
I don't know that.
Although I will say, I didn't get nauseous, so that's something.
That's good. Silver lining at the very least. Silver lining at the very least. But man, that reminds me of when we were in the Calgary airport like a few weeks ago, and had a layover there. Had to go through security again for domestic, since you're transferring to a domestic flight. And the amount of people that were stopped at the security check just because they had alcohol that they bought from a duty free that wasn't properly bagged. So I legit was overhearing security guards say, "You either have to down this all now or throw it out." I was like, damn, there needs to be a way better system for this. I guess there is. So, you have to bag it properly, but just the amount of people with, you know, not having these things bagged and saying, "We didn't bag it for us." I don't know. I felt like that was eye-opening to me.
Yeah, so that's actually, like, an interesting point as well, because when I bought the bottle of ice wine, I asked the guy, I'm like, do I need to put this in that, like, duty-free bag, get it sealed and everything? The thing is, when I was at Heathrow, there were people that had it sealed in the bag. They were opening up that bag and still testing it. So, like, whatever bullshit they were doing at Heathrow, and to be fair to them, I do understand, because I was flying on Christmas Day. And if you're going to talk about sort of, like, needing to be high security, you want to do it on milestone dates, right? Like, I would say 24th would be more intense for sure, but, like, also, look, man, they're working on Christmas. I don't want to be an asshole to them. But I did ask them, like, I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, because, like, when I bought this, the guy said he didn't need to bag it because, well, going back to the fact that this was supposed to be a direct flight, you know, and, like, we weren't supposed to go through security or anything like that. Like, just please be careful with this, because ultimately, like, this is a gift for somebody as well, right? So, yeah, it was, like, weird. The whole process is weird, and, like, I don't know.
Oh,
I hate flying, guys.
Yeah,
but I love traveling, which is a contradiction. But yeah.
Well, after
easy.
fair. But after that flight, you did get to travel, I'm assuming. But how was the actual trip itself, Rakush?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting trip, right? Like, I think ultimately, like, I was there for my brother's wedding, and that is a pretty big moment. Like, you know, I think I think I really appreciated, kind of, like, as I was watching all of, like, the religious ceremonies happen and stuff like that on the day of the wedding, that dumbass did not stop smiling, which was kind of, like, you know, very adorable.
That's nice.
So I was really happy for him on that front. But yeah, it was great, man. Like, I was born in that city. I lived there for 11 years. And I think it's actually kind of funny to try to talk to you guys about this, because I am about to talk about people that I knew and I considered friends before I moved here and before I met you guys, right? So it's from a life before I met you guys, and it was really funny seeing, like, people that I last saw them when I was 10 years old, but then also vice versa. They hadn't seen me, like, you know, since then. Like, I was 10 years old, and, like, there's a couple of folks that were in, like, the same year as me in school that I used to go for, like, tuition classes in the evening with and stuff, and both of them have kids now, and I was like, huh, that's wild. Here I am, still a kid mentally, but these guys are already starting families. That's insane.
Hey, you want to play Myth of the Past with me?
Boys,
it's like, hey, give me your friend code.
Rakush, I'm sorry for interrupting you in this more emotional segment, but boys, this is giving Rakush is going to log off after this call and we'll never see him again, energy.
Oh man.
Amazing. No, I will tell you guys honestly, there is no chance I'm moving back to that country, which I'll get to in a second.
I wasn't saying you're going back to that country, but you know, wherever the wind takes you, right, Rakush?
If I don't talk to you guys, who am I going to talk to?
I don't know, maybe your third set of friends, which I feel like you're implying right now.
Well, Beer League doesn't start until March, so, you know,
Fair.
I gotta wait for them for a few months. So I might disappear in March, but, you know. No, it was funny because, like, they were staring at me, and, like, I got a lot of, like, up-down looks as well, and they're like, why? Like, some of them were like, why are you looking up at you now? And, like, some folks were like, oh, you got a beard, let alone, like, a gray beard, right? So, like, there's a lot of those kind of moments that was really funny. I saw a lot of aunties and uncles that I hadn't seen in a long time as well, and like and cousins as well. And it was really funny that a lot of the aunties were trying to get me to just like apply some Just for Men into my beard because that's the reason they think I don't have a partner. And I had to break the news to them that, sorry, aunties, it's my attitude. That's
There's a multitude of other reasons.
There's plenty of other reasons. A lot of them can be boiled down to a lot of women just think I'm an fucking dumbass, an idiot, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's got anything to do with my beard. But no, it was really funny. And I think like also seeing family that literally like I haven't seen this family for 25 years. And I haven't really been involved in talking to my extended family and stuff like that. Like that was cool. And it was great to kind of see them just kind of living a peaceful life at least. Like they're all pretty happy with where they're at. So like that was great. So the wedding stuff was awesome. And the things surrounding the wedding, like, you know, the days leading up to it were about as stressful as you would expect. Now, Matt, I know a few months back, you also similarly had a sibling get married.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how your experience on the days leading up to the wedding was like, but it was very stressful for my like side. And like the fact that also, you know, I work as a project manager. These clowns did not ask a project manager to help them manage things. So, you know, I'm sitting there seeing these people get stressed out and then get frustrated at me for not helping. And I'm like, you clowns did not ask me for help. Like, I don't know how to help you guys out if you don't tell me what I can help out with. So it was all like the usual stresses, I'm sure, that come with getting married and things like that. All those experiences further solidified my desire to never get married. So that was, you know, a very vindicating experience. And then there's the rest of the trip. Guys, I got sick 3 days into the trip.
Oof.
Classic.
I think part of it is on me, but then part of it is also just literally like sitting on a flight where people are coughing like they've got the plague. And so yeah, like 3 days in, there was basically one free day that I had to just kind of do things by myself. And so I ended up hitting up like some museums and stuff. And I then went for lunch, ate like a pretty heavy lunch. In the evening, I wanted to go for and get like what's called a Bombay sandwich. It's kind of street food there. It's like a panini sandwich filled with like boiled potatoes and like spices and cheese and all these amazing things. And I ate that. I ate kulfi, which is basically Indian ice cream. And I had a stomach ache at that point, you guys. And that same evening, I started getting a cough. And the food was not digesting because I overate. So all of that spicy Bombay sandwich that I ate was not actually getting past like the pipes.
Oh no.
And basically combination of the cough, that city's got insane air pollution, so like all of these things combined, and it was Yak City for that whole night, and then I just did not recover since then. You guys have heard me kind of do like a dry cough all throughout this episode as well. Like that's actually a lingering effect of that as well. So it was really fun trying to work through that as well. And that was no fun, you guys.
Damn. Hopefully you're still able to enjoy it to the best of your ability.
Yeah. Look, the things I'm going to remember are the people, right? Like, that's why, like, that to me is the most important thing. Now, I said I would never move back to that city. It's because of these things to do with health. It's how quickly I got sick. It's how many, like, I literally couldn't drink the tap water, even if it was filtered water, because of the scare that, like, I could get sick because of that. The filtered water probably would have been fine, but, like, I had to drink just bottled water. And, like, the amount of, like, plastic bottles that I went through in a span of 2 weeks probably surpassed how many plastic bottles I've used in the last year in this country, right? So, like, there's just a lot of those kind of things. And I really would love to be there. Like, it's great to meet sort of, like, the next generation of the family, like, my nieces and nephews and stuff, and, like, seeing just how brilliant they are and, how they've adapted to kind of, like, a world that I have considered fairly garbage. But, like, they seem to be navigating it, like, in, like, amazing ways in their own ways as well. Like, there's a lot of pride there, and, like, I felt really happy about that. But, like, I cannot be there on a daily basis. And then there's also just sort of, like, the chaotic energy of India as well. I feel like the way I've described it to a few folks is, like, if you think in comparison, Toronto sometimes feels like, just like a piano composition or something like that, even though sometimes it can feel as simple as a rendition of hot cross buns on the piano. And then you go to India and it just kind of feels like it's free jazz, it's like a freestyle session. And, like, there is a rhyme and reason to how things are the way they are, but as an outsider, it takes you a long time to really understand these things. And that could be as simple as, like, nobody in traffic stops. Like, the cars don't stop, the pedestrians don't stop. You feel like there's going to be an accident, but somehow there just never is. And, like, yeah, if you're not used to that anymore, you see that, you're going to be like, oh, what the fuck, right? Like, this is insane. But the people there are just perfectly used to it. And so, yeah, there is this structure in place. There is a certain rhyme or reason, albeit, like, with a lot of absurdity in that city as well. But, like, it's not something that I can handle on a daily basis. And yeah, ultimately, like, those are kind of, like, these interesting limiters that just sort of remind me how much of, like, my life is now, like, I am firmly a Canadian, and, like, even just sort of, like, and these next few things are just things that are typical for me with traveling. And, like, Julian, even when I visited you back in August, like, there is a certain level of homesickness, right? Like, there are sort of, like, these subtle things that, like, you like, it's the way the sun hits you when you wake up in the morning feels different. It's like, in India, like, it could be something as, like, it could be something as detailed as, like, the toilets there are wet.
Oh, no.
And that sounds gross, but that's because they have those handheld bidets. And culturally, like, they use water to wipe their ass. I used to do that too, to be fair, when I was young. But, like, that means that the toilet paper there isn't, like, your 2-ply, 3-ply toilet paper that you get here. So it's like, there's a lot of that. Then there's also, like, a lot of, I feel like, just cultural things in terms of cleaning up after yourself. I'm not saying Canada is at the same level as, like, a Japan when it comes to those kind of things, but, like, when I went for ice cream, like, that evening, there was people literally walking on, like, ice cream wrappers that were just, like, sprawled out all the way outside across, like, of this place. There's garbage bins there. You take, like, 3 steps and you can throw it in the garbage bin, but, like, that wasn't happening. And, like, and then also just, like, how the shower hits sometimes, it's like the water pressures of the shower. It's like, it's just like you feel like all these subtle things, it's like there was one very, like, specific thing about, like, I got back home and the way I sleep is, like, one of the, like, I don't know, like, there's a certain way, or like something happens where like one of the softer pillows gets tucked right under my chin when I'm sleeping, and then like, it's those are like familiar senses and things like that I didn't have when I'm traveling, right? So like there's a lot of those kind of things that hit as well. Now, when I'm enjoying a trip, those things are just like, okay, it just makes me, I'll enjoy them when I'm back, but I'm also enjoying it right now. But when you're sick and when there's like, all these stresses of like a wedding and stuff like that, it all just kind of adds up to, just make it so that when I really actually got back here, although I'm going to miss the people in India, like I am happy to be back. And it makes me appreciate my routine a lot, so yeah.
I don't think you mentioned, though, the most important part of weddings. The fire fits. What? How was the fit?
Oh, brother, I had a Hugo Boss suit on.
Okay. So were you wearing like a Western-style suit, or were you wearing...
Yeah.
Like more...
No, I was the only one wearing a Western-style suit from all the males in the family. And everybody else was wearing, like, their traditional garbs and stuff. But I'm going to be honest, man. I bought the suit here. I knew I loved the suit. I was going to wear the suit. Like, due respect to like the rest of the family, I needed to get this fit off once in my life. Yeah. Also, the food at the wedding was great. You own that suit? Sorry?
You own that suit? I thought you rented the suit.
No, I own the suit now. I bought the suit as like, this is the only suit I'm ever gonna buy, kind of thing.
I see. Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Food was fire too. Okay. Even though I got sick, the food was great. It was also great to eat like. My aunt makes this amazing Indian style like curry rice, and I got to like go and eat that at her place, which looked the exact same as it did 25 years ago. So it was like walking into a time capsule, and that shit got me very nostalgic as well, man. Like it was great in that sense, So yeah, I mean, a lot of things to love, a lot of things to be like, just keeping me in check and like, not getting lost from reality or anything like that, but. Yeah, I think a memorable trip. Really happy for my brother as well. He's on his honeymoon in Bali right now. Nice. Don't want to send him photos of the snow because I think he'll feel miserable otherwise, So, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Still sounds like a great trip for you, Rakush.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you guys. And, like, again, like, kind of... So, one of my uncles passed away when I was 14, 15 years old. And... that was the same on whose place I went to, and so like that's why also like that felt like really nostalgic and stuff. But then like his granddaughter, my niece, is like also starting law school, and like she's an artist and stuff. And like man, that was like just understanding that like these kids are all right. I think like that really helped out a lot as well, and feeling that pride. I think like and seeing them also just sort of like. Connecting these beefing old aunts and uncles again after all these years. Like my cousin also helping out with that. Like I think that was great. Families fight sometimes, and like it was for the dumbest shit as well. So like we all laughed about it, and like that was great. So yeah, like I'm gonna remember the people. I'm gonna remember the experiences with the people. Like sitting down with my older cousin, like my sister basically, and like having a beer with her, and both of us having a moment of realization of like, I'd seen her in 2019 when I'd gone last, but like that was for like 3 hours. And before that, like I hadn't seen her since 2003. And so like sitting and drinking a beer, and there's like this moment of both of us being like, we're like grown-ass human beings now, talking about like, grown-ass human being experiences and like the hardships of life and stuff. And like, it's things like that as well. Like, realizing that like being able to do these things and understanding that like, people don't just look at they don't look at me like I'm a kid. I don't look at them like, they're like still 20, 25 or whatever. That was great. So those are the kind of things I'm going to remember a lot.
Okay. Wow. Damn, Rakush, making us all feel old right now.
Man.
It made me happy to be old.
Guys?
It made me happy that I was able to say, like, hey, we've lived an eventful life, and, yeah, I don't know, man. These are the kind of things that make me appreciate the lives lived, right? Like,
I agree with that.
I think
I think it's a privilege to grow old, you know? 'Cause
exactly.
Experience.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot of journaling in the last year because I don't know, I just kind of find it's been fun, and like writing things every now and then as well. And like, yeah, you know, like I think the older I get, like the smaller things are also things that I've really just grown to appreciate a lot, right? Like, Julian, I know like when I visited Newfoundland and we went to that Mistaken Point place, that experience has lingered with me a lot because it was such a humbling experience to kind of like stand there and see these things like rock formations and stuff formed over billions of years that like you feel so positively insignificant in all these things, right?
It's but like then it's edge of the world kind of situation.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And just kind of finding that in that moment, the insignificance then can go one of two ways, right? It could either be like, oh wow, I mean nothing, this is fucked. Or you then ask that question of like, you know, what gives you the meaning, right? And then for me the answer is it's the people, it's the moment, you know, and it's like being in the moment. You know, it's those are the kind of cool things, you know, and like just writing
positive
about
nihilism.
Those things. Yeah.
If nothing matters, then nothing matters, you know. You just what matters is the moments.
Yeah, I don't even know if I feel nihilistic about things, right? Like I actually feel positive about my life at least. Like I know the world's fucked, but like I feel positive about my life, you know? Like it's really fucking cool that I'm able to talk to you guys that I've known for more than 20 years on a weekly basis. You know, thanks to this podcast. I'm appreciative of the fact that, hey, it's snowing outside. That fucking sucks. But you know what's really cool about that? In the moment, the light reflects differently, and like, you know, there's a warm glow to like, you know, the soft snow outside and shit like that. It's like, just, I don't know, like I've come to really appreciate a lot of these smaller things just that much more. And yeah,
man, guys, I don't know what your setup is right now, but this is really, really like, I don't know, the fact that the last time we recorded, Jaren sent a picture of Carly Rae Jepsen's emotion. It's just sitting at the top of my Discord screen, and I just keep looking at that whenever Rakush is talking.
Are you shedding a tear right now, man?
Oh man, Rakush, I specifically looked at that when you said you went into your aunt's place and you had that curry rice, and like, I don't know, I imagine you taking a bite of it, and then I looked at Carly Rae Jepsen and I'm like, oh, that was the pose that Rakush made.
The Carly rice, is that what? Curry rice?
Yes, the curry rice Jepsen.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's good. That's the name of this episode now.
Yeah, that's the name of this episode for sure.
This whole conversation, Rakush, you're not beating the riding off into the sunset allegations.
This first of the year podcast sounds like a final podcast.
On to the new adventures. More sunsets to ride into, more cliffs to stand on as you look into the wide vistas before you and think, I'm going to be all right.
It all, honestly, like a lot of that started with the last Japan trip. It was genuinely a transformative experience. So like, I don't know, man. I'm not riding off into the sunset. I'm just appreciating the days. You guys will hear from me next week, unless I die, and then you know.
I don't know. Yeah, yo, Rakush, if this were an anime, and you know, people were analyzing it, they'd be like, oh man, this Rakush character is getting a lot of red flags.
Yeah, I see a truck outside right now, actually. So you know, maybe the truck flies up to the 7th floor and just like, you know,
oh man,
Truckun's watching.
Spin off Isekai for Rakush would be wild.
I got Isekai to India.
Oh man, I mean, technically you got Isekai to Canada, but
well, true, yeah.
The 2027 anime seasons are really coming together with Matt's villain arc, Rakush's introspective travel arc. Julian, can't wait to see what anime you star in the upcoming months before we get to watch it next year.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be like a video game version of Death Note, right? Where like he just finds like a magical book and he like, you know, writes down video game names and they all turn into massive hits.
I thought you were going to say these series die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write.
Well,
I'm just gonna write the games that you guys have on your fantasy critic list.
Oh, and they flop.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, that's
going out swinging. But Rakush sounds like a beefy trip full of ups and downs, and especially being able to look inside. Any final thoughts on your trip to India last year?
Just not like, just everything I've said, right? Like, I think the trip made me appreciate you guys even more as well. So yeah, made me appreciate everything, man. Made me appreciate life and the lived life and what's to come. So yeah.
Thanks, man. Rakush, you know what this conversation made me appreciate? The fact that Kazuna I is in Fortnite. Boys!
Oh, man.
Hell yeah.
I know I said it, but 2026, Jaren Fortnite Skin of the Year just came out. Kazuna I in her idol outfit and her workout outfit. Matt, now that VTubers have stepped into the hellscape that is Fortnite, full of child gambling, Matt, what's the over-under for 2026? Do we get a Niji talent or do we get a Hollow talent in Fortnite by the end of the year?
I wouldn't be surprised at either. But Jaren, I have a real question for you. Do you think that we get an indie talent? Like,
Matt, when you say indie, how indie are you talking? Like, do we consider Ui an indie?
I would consider Yui an indie. I was more so thinking of like an English indie, someone or like an English adjacent indie, someone along the lines of like Saba, Doobie, Hanya, Mint, like anyone around there.
Not okay. Take that back. Over under. Will we see Iron Mouse in Fortnite by the end of the year?
Ooh, Iron Mouse is actually probably the one that's gonna make it. If anybody,
that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
For like Fortnite's audience, I'd assume it would be more of a Western VTuber.
Okay. We'll see where the predictions land. We'll see where the predictions land, boys. But what a start!
Should have bet money with you, Matt.
What?
Should have bet money with you.
What a start to the year here on 2026. What's coming up in the docket? Rakush, Matt, I know we have some anime coming up next week.
Yeah.
At the very least, with the winter anime season kind of already going on right now. Trying to figure out what we're talking about next week. We're trying to rope in Mark because I know Julian's itching to, hold on to the title once again.
Gotta be the two-time.
2 weeks. We can do an episode in like 2 weeks.
Okay. So we'll
Julian's trying to win 2 times in a row and destroy the league, bro.
What else is coming up? Not some. I believe we've been playing some similar video games throughout the break, so I think that's coming up as well. But lot in store at the very least.
Yeah.
But beefy.
Also, a potential Rakush funeral episode because all the death flags.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna dedicate a whole episode to that. But...
Wow. Okay. Damn. This fucking guy. You know what?
Man.
You know what? Homelander. This fucking guy.
But
it'll be an
what's your
off-screen.
outro song?
It'll be an off-screen. We'll mention it in a blog post or something. I don't know.
Also, I don't think we want to go with Curry Ray's Jepsen as the name anymore. Now that I'm thinking about it, that might come across slightly racist.
Is it?
Only slightly.
Slightly. I don't know. You could see it from a wrong angle and feel like that's racist.
I mean, I just need
know.
to edit the cover of Emotion so that there's a table in front of her and she's eating curry rice for the show art, right? Like, that's how that... Right?
If you feel you can make it work.
We both know if we want to hit the algos, we need to do some heated rivalry. We need to do that. I know Rakush and Julian opened the floodgate, but let's be real. There's only one reason Nier got an anime, and that's our girl 2B. Julian, predictions for this year. Yeah. What's the next Nier collab that we'll see 2B in by the time the year's done?
Fortnite. I think. I don't know.
Is 2B not already in Fortnite?
2B is in
no,
PUBG.
Actually, surprisingly,
she's not in Fortnite.
Is there like a thing where you can't be in both?
No, you can be in both. So we're calling it Iron Mouse 2B in Fortnite by the end of 2026.
Okay, 2B outfit in GTA 6. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yes.
I know we're saving this, but this might be insider trading before. But I'm gonna go with. I want to thank my best friends for joining us this week. For joining me this week, Matt Alba, for editing this podcast as always, and Matt prediction. GTA 6, 2026, YM.
I'm deeply considering counterpicking it in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way.
I want to
Oh,
thank
man.
another one of my best friends this week, Rakush, for joining us, telling us about his adventures, and hey, being someone who's able to look inside. Rakush, GTA 6,
Jaren,
2026.
Hold on.
Yes,
hold
no.
on. Hold on. Yes, but also, why are you doing the goodbyes? We haven't done Don't Match Me yet.
Because we'll save that for the very end, because we're hot on the GTA 6 talk right now for Insider Trading.
Okay.
Julian, want to thank
It
you
just sounded like you're doing the goodbyes.
for
but
joining
yeah.
us this week, telling us about your memories. But as the victor and as the de facto expert in video games, GTA 6 2026, yes, no?
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
Matt, lock it down. Lock it down. We'll see who goes back on their word in 2 weeks when we famously pick. But
Ooh.
as always, to end things off, the Don't Match Me challenge, where every week one of us will bring forth 5 questions, and all you have to do, our friends listening out there, is to not match the answer that is brought to us by the host this week, Matt Alba. But if you want to play on a more difficult version, try not to match myself, Rakush, and Julian as well. And Matt, please take it away.
All right, so I'm running Don't Match Me this week, and I decided to do, we're in 2026 now, so I decided to do a 26 adjacent Don't Match Me challenge. So, of course, in a 26 related Don't Match Me challenge, my first question is obviously going to be, name any one of the 26 letters in the alphabet.
Wait, we've done this question before.
Yeah, I
We've
think
done
we
a
have.
lot of questions before.
Yeah. All right. So name that letter in 3, 2, 1. I am going with A.
Damn.
Day.
First question of the year.
Down. Rakush, you're out?
I'll explain why in a second.
Okay. Jaren, what'd you go with?
I went with the letter M for the Montreal Metros, one of the teams featured in the hit show Heated Rivalries.
Of course.
They fucking... Sorry.
Julian, what'd you go with?
I picked O, because it has solid symmetry.
Good reasoning.
Hey, Matt,
Rakush? Uh-huh.
that was really Alice coded of Julian, am I right?
Oh yeah, that good goof. Good goof that Julian is absolutely not gonna understand, and basically nobody's gonna understand. Rakush, why'd you get caught?
I went with A because Julian's last message in Discord is A, and I just wanted to say A.
Hey, we got him.
Got him.
Damn.
All right. So one of the reasons I picked A is because, guys, this is an anime podcast as well as a video game or whatever the other dumb stuff we talk about is. And an anime that I know is near and dear to all of our hearts is Beck Mongolian Chop Squad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26 episode anime. So I want you guys to pick one of the 26 episodes of Beck. All right. So name that episode in 3, 2, 1. I am going with episode 9, The Night Before the Live, because that has that scene where Saku and Tyra jam together for the first time.
Matt,
Uh,
that's a good episode. Just watch it recently. That's a good episode.
Jaren, there's a lot of good episodes. Jaren,
Yep.
what good episode did you pick?
Matt, I went with episode 19, Blues, because to be honest, Matt, a lot of blue jerseys in the hit show Heated Rivalry.
This guy. All right. Julian, what episode you watching?
I picked episode 5 Beck, because that's the episode
Fuck.
where they go swimming at night and sing
of
Full
course.
Moon Sway.
Of course.
God damn it, Julian, I matched with you. For the
Damn.
exact same reason.
Yeah,
We
that's
got
such a
him.
good episode.
We got
Yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes.
down.
Yeah.
Was-
Down. Yo.
Also,
you're doing rough. You're doing rough this episode.
hey, listen. These are the death flags. I am dying and don't match me.
Down.
I also love that on the Wikipedia for the list of episodes, by the way, the name of the episode in English is Beck, but right under it says transliteration, comma, Bekku, Bekku.
Good goof. Good goof. Good goof.
It's great.
Good goof.
Guys,
Oh,
before
man.
we move on, I just wanted to bring up, when looking through the episodes, I was reminded of episode 7. So we all know Ryusuke's iconic Les Paul guitar with the bullet holes. Matt, Julian, Rakush, what's a better name for that guitar? Lucille or Prudence?
I personally prefer Lucille.
Yeah, I like Lucille.
Yeah, you know, guys. Anime original. I don't like the 4Kids dub of Prudence.
Yep.
Here.
Where that always threw me off when like jumping, because I watched back originally on Much Music here in Canada, so I'm used to it being Prudence. So when I got around to watching the subbed version like years later and it said Lucille, I thought, damn, that's actually really rough.
No. Oh man. All right. So going on to question 3. You know, as the Don't Match Me's questions go on, they're supposed to get harder and harder. So I'm cutting that 26.5 to 13. And my third question is, name one of the 13 playing card values in a standard deck of cards, not including the Joker. So, you know, from like ace to 2 to 10 to the face cards. Name one of those cards.
Do you also want us to name the suits or no?
Oh no, just the card value. Just the card value.
Okay.
All right. So name that card value in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with the 6. All right. Jaren?
Because you live in the 6.
That partially.
Again.
But Jaren, what'd you go with?
Boys, if you look on the show art for Heated Rivalry, we'll see that Shane, his jersey, you'll see the number 4. That's not his full number, but I went with the number 4.
Julian, what'd you go with?
I went with 7 because I was hoping someone would pick 6.
Hey, that's the reason.
Oh,
I
no.
picked 6.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Oh.
We got it. We got it.
Got him.
Curry Rice Jepsen. We got 6, 7. Yo, we're good. Rakush, please
Hitting
tell
all
me
the
you picked
algos.
9. Please tell me you picked 9.
I picked Ace because of One Piece.
Aw.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Rakush,
man. Guys.
Speaking of aces, in the show Heated Rivalries, you could argue that.
You know what's funny, Jared? I was gonna make that joke just to kind of like steal your thunder a little bit, but then I was like, nah, let him continue this.
Oh,
No, we'll continue. Can't wait till we get Mark on and we have our full Heated Rivalry episode.
Oh,
you
man.
guys should do a
Rivalries
spoiler cast for Heated Rivalry.
Spoiler
know.
cast.
You know that's on the table eventually.
Amazing.
All right. You know, I think this is my fourth question. I think is a revisited question. I want you guys to name one of the 13 provinces or territories we have in Canada.
I think I know where Jaren's going with this one.
Oh man.
Okay.
I wish I knew. Wish I knew where that took place.
Okay.
All right. Name that province or territory in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with Yukon. Going with the Yukon.
Good potatoes.
Fancy.
All right, Jaren. Where did Heated Rivalries take place?
Matt, going with, the basic Ontario. Because if we watched season 1 of Yellow Jackets, that's where the girls' planes crashed, starting off their whole ordeal in trying to survive the Canadian wilderness in Ontario, which I believe there's a new season this year. And I'm hoping that honestly, Yellow Jackets has been falling off for me with every new season. So I'm hoping they're able to bring it back this time around. Also, Ottawa plays a role in Heated Rivalries towards the end, which is also in Ontario. So,
Classic. We got him.
Classic.
I was about to say. All right,
Julian, where are you at?
I did PEI because they have those really good chocolate-covered potato chips.
Oh,
Interesting.
Oh man, I love me some chocolate covered potato chips. All right, Rakush, where'd you go to?
I went with none of it because I'm having none of it.
This guy. This guy. All right. Going on to my last question. I'm going to take that 13, cut it in half, and then remove a 0.5 so that it's a proper number.
You didn't want to be between 6 and 7?
Didn't want to be between 6 and 7. So we're just going with 6.
Got him. You can't see
myself.
it, but I'm doing the hand thing.
I hate myself.
As much as I like the 6-7 goof, I am always a little bit sad because I feel it took away a little bit from 69 being so close.
Yep.
But anyway, going back to this no match challenge, I think we've done this one on here before, but I want you guys to just name any one of the Infinity Stones. I believe there's 6, and that's why I picked it. All right. So name that Infinity Stone in 3, 2, 1. Guys, it's 2026, so of course I had to go with the Time Stone, because guys, we zoom in.
Bro, I've had the worst fucking week of Don't Match Me you can imagine.
Damn. Oh man. Okay. Jaren, what'd you go with?
I went with Soul. Just cause, realistically, I was trying to shoehorn it in, but when I googled Infinity Stones, that's the first one that came up. So,
well,
behind the
Jaren,
curtain.
to make love and to fuck, you need a little bit of soul.
Yes. Rakush, there's more to heated rivalries than the fucking
The soul.
Not for Rakush.
Fair.
They got the soul. The heat comes from the heart. The soul.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spell heart without heat. Heated.
Yep. Okay.
That tracks. That tracks. I just looked at the letters. Yep. Julian, which stone you go with?
I did the Soul Stone as well, because I'm not actually sure what it does.
It gave Vision his soul.
That's the Mind.
Wait, I thought Mind Stone, yeah.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's the
okay.
Mind Stone.
I don't know.
Well,
Wait, is Soul Stone the one Doctor Strange has?
I thought
Or is
that was
that
the one
time?
Black Widow died for.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the
okay.
one someone had to die for them to, get.
Oh, okay. That's the stone that has the ability to kill off people that won't sign new contracts. Got it.
Oh, is that why they wrote off Black Widow?
Also, Sebastian Stan is about to be Two-Face in the Batman movies, so solid chance you might see him die in the Avengers movies.
Well,
Okay.
all right. Rakush, you said you matched on Time Stone?
Yeah.
Damn. Ooh,
What is that?
these
I matched
flags.
3 out of 5 questions this
Yeah.
week?
Rakush, inside baseball, my second pick for the province one was none of it.
Okay, holy shit. If you actually went that, oh my god.
Oh man, would have been a good goof. But yeah,
That
that's
was a good
my
goof.
Don't Match Me challenge. Mm-hmm.
That was a good goof, Matt. That was a good Don't Match Me challenge. And boys, that was a good start to the year here, coming together as friends. Thank to all of you once again, but I guess this is time to thank, who should we thank this week? I want to thank Heated Rivalry. I want to thank Carly Rae Jepsen. Don't want to thank Air Canada. Don't want to thank Secret Layovers. I'm actually still heated. Speaking of heated rivalries, I'm so heated that Rakush mentioned that. I'm livid for
I might
you,
call them up
Rakush.
today. I gotta do laundry. I just gotta wait for that. I might just call them up while I'm doing that.
Yeah. They'll probably put you on hold, so something to do in between, Rakush. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to thank 2B, and of course, I want to thank my best friends in the whole wide world. And one of those is Matt Alba, who will now take it away.
Yo, this has been the Mistake Zone, and we're all out of leg room on our non-stop flights.
Apparently not.
I thought we were also all out of non-stop flights. Yeah, we're all out of non-stop flights.
On our leg room. Uh-huh.